Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about prestiging in this game. Do I think it's worth it? And if you do prestige, which I do recommend, and I'll explain why I think it's good in this game. Well, it all depends on what your goal is, if you're going to go full tryhard mode or not. But with prestiging, what I think you should use your permanent unlock tokens on, and the best stuff to have through the prestige is because the prestige system is pretty user-friendly in this game and in Treyarch's history of the Black Ops series in general. So we're going to talk about that in tonight's video. You guys can feel free to leave your suggestions, what you guys used your prestige unlock tokens on in order in the comment section down below. Drop a like on this video. I'd really appreciate that. Let's go for 1,500 likes. Smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And let's get right into it and let's talk about it. So first of all, is it worth to prestige? Now, if you want to just go full tryhard mode for gameplays and stats, then obviously you'd want to stay level 55 because you don't get punished at all by losing different score streaks that could help contribute to your stats. But if you want to play the game, and traditionally most people like to play the game for a mixture of different things, they like to go through the levels, they care about stats, but if they like to go through the levels as well, and you get some things from prestiging, and you definitely get the encouragement to play more and to grind and, you know, to make it the most out of those double XP weekends, then when you prestige in this game, it's just the same as basically the past previous Black Ops games. You keep all your weapon attachment progress and camo progress and everything, which is probably the most important stuff, and then you just have to, as you level up, unlock those weapons again, the perks and the score streaks basically, because once you get the weapon, you will have all of the attachments. So that's my thing on prestiging. It's all personal preference, what you care about, but I do think the system is good in this game, and I am going through the prestiges. Going through the prestiges, but I should have taken more advantage of the double XP weekend because that could be absolutely huge. I didn't use any double XP codes or anything like that, like none of those Mountain Dew codes, so I was just playing on single XP because, you know, for me, it's all about the journey up there, testing out different weapons and everything, and I'm going at a pretty good pace right now, and the next time I get double XP weekend, though, I want to just absolutely punish and play a lot more. But with these prestiging, what you use your unlock tokens on are key, because by the time you get to like 6th or 7th prestige, you should have your whole class setup permanently unlocked, and prestiging should just be a breeze and going through like nothing is changing on anything except levels, which is what I think you want to set up. So as far as your prestige unlock token, there's a couple of things. And as far as the first one, I know by now, by people watching this video by now, you probably have prestige a couple of times. I mean, I don't know, maybe the average player might be not prestige or first prestige. I know some people watching this might be 5th or 6th prestige, but I think you guys can all get something out of this because I want to talk about all the prestiges starting from the first couple, or even if you pick something and you sort of regret it from the first couple, or you don't use it anymore because of the nerfs and buffs, which can screw things over if you take a weapon and then it's nerfed heavily or something like that. That did happen to me. I think it was on IW. I don't really remember, but that has been known to happen to people because you don't really know what they're going to nerf or buff. You can kind of predict based on the community feedback, but you never really know. So as far as the most important thing to permanently unlock, I think it's Gung Ho. I think Gung Ho is just the most superior second perk by far on the majority of class setups, and I think Dexterity is great as well, but only when combined with Gung Ho, and Gung Ho isn't unlocked until that mid-level range, so for me, not having Gung Ho for like the first half of my prestige really does hurt my class setup and hurt my whole game because I like to sprint around. I like to sprint, move from position to position, taking shots and taking gunfights one at a time, and hopefully having the advantageous position in those gunfights. But I really do get help from that Gung Ho perk if I do get caught in a sprint, or just to win pure on 1v2s or even 1v1s where you get caught in a sprint a little bit. It does happen. So I think Gung Ho is the most important. As far as that's the perk that I think is really important to take. As far as weapons, because with weapons, I have a couple here on this list that I think are worth using. Me personally, I used mine on Maddox. When I went to the weapon, of course I have Gung Ho as well, but I used my weapon one on the Maddox because I thought that weapon was really good, and I was trying to record a class setup with it. And of course, turns out the Maddox is a very good AR that's unlocked late, so I was very happy with that choice. But I think as far as guns, if you want to use it on a gun because you really like using strong guns, Maddox, the Swordfish if you like the burst or tactical rifles, because that's unlocked at the last level. The Vapor is unlocked pretty late, and the SOG 9mm, which is one of the top SMGs in this game, isn't unlocked till 52. Swordfish unlocked at 55. Maddox, I believe, somewhere in the 40s, and Vapor in the high 30s, something like that. So that's just off the top of my head. I might be getting those numbers wrong, but you know what I mean. These are all guns that are unlocked later. And that's why I think if you do care about these weapons, but at the same time, you do have the ICR available, and when you're in the early levels, the KN57 you get not too later. But I think, you know, use a prestige unlock token and take a weapon that you want, because one of these later prestige weapons, you really can't enjoy them unless you use a prestige unlock token if you are going through the prestiges very quickly and not stop it at level 55 for any reason. So those are some weapons I would recommend. Now, as far as once you get gung-ho, once you get a weapon or two, I think the important thing is the score streaks. Now, this applies to people that are wanting to, this next tip is for more advanced players or players who want to go for gameplays or high kill games. I think the 2 score streaks that are worth taking, and I personally have Strike Team, because you get that at level somewhere like around 40, something like that, and Strike Team is, in my opinion, like really good score streak in this game. Reminds me of like dogs, but it's basically, you know, players running around, CPU players, whatever, AI players. And then Gunship as well. I don't have much experience with the Gunship, but what I've seen from people that are going for the highest killed chaos domination gameplays and stuff like that, Gunship does work well, especially when there's 6 people in the lobby in chaos dom and you have that extra time to use it and earn more gunships. I think it really is deadly, and that of course is unlocked very late in the prestige as well. So I think score streaks, as far as perks, I really think that gung-ho is the one that's worth it. But as far as other things, maybe in your later prestiges, in your 5th or 6th prestige, take dead silence or tac mask, but those are unlocked within the levels like 15 to 30, so you know, and those levels go really quick. Like, you gotta remember, on a prestige, the earlier levels go by a lot quicker than the later levels. So that's what I would say as far as that. I think the best things to focus on are the weapons, because in this game they really did sort of put a lot of the, I guess there is a punishment for prestige in this game, because of the fact that they put a lot of those really cool and fun to use weapons way at the end of the prestige, and it really is a grind to get them. And by the time you get them, by the time you get to like 52 and you get the SOG 9mm, you can enjoy it for a couple of you know, games like I did, and then I had to use it a couple of games every single end of the prestige, and then eventually I was like, okay, I've used this gun enough to get gameplays and use it for a class stuff. But it really was a struggle, and that's why it was a lot easier when I just would use my prestige token and take something over like the Maddox, which I think is probably one of the best guns to take over. Swordfish, personally, if you like, it's all up to if you like burst on that one, but I really do think score streaks are important if you are a high score streak player. If you are a person that plays in the mid score streaks and you're comfortable, because the first 3 score streaks they give you aren't bad. UAV is very effective in this game. I mean, a lot of people do use Ghosts, but I think a lot more switching over to Dead Silence, just because of acoustic and stuff. People are sort of figuring it out, so I think UAV is very good. And then I think that Hellstorm is amazing in this game. It's absolutely insane. And the attack helicopter, I call it the mini Pavlo, because it's ridiculous in this game. So those are very good. But then if you have something else, like perhaps you could be running like Hellstorm, attack helicopter, strike team, or eventually you can get it to attack helicopter, thresher, strike team, or whatever you want, attack helicopter, strike team, gunship. But that is this tip only applies if you like those high score streaks. If you like a specific score streak and it's lower, maybe it is worth it. There are things that are just up to personal preference. Like I said, these are probably the best picks efficiency wise, based on, like, you know, your average player that mainly uses ARs, SMGs, and tactical rifles. Now, there are some LMGs that are good to take from the late. If you are an LMG player, I would definitely recommend staying with what you're comfortable with, and of course with snipers as well. You want to make sure you have the top snipers in the game and make sure you're pulling those over also. So it all depends on LMG players and sniper players. Of course, you probably know better than I do, because I'm a player that plays with traditionally just assault rifles, tactical rifles, and SMGs, and you know, I'll pull out something like the overpowered Titan every once in a while, even though that Titan was nerfed, which I gotta give the Titan some more playtime after the nerf, because that gun was amazing. But I really think that the Raw gun, I think it was called the Raw from IW, was just like such a good LMG, and because there was that thing in IW where it made it so you ran at full speed even with an LMG, that was absolutely ridiculous. And I think that was something that made, like, you know, the LMG sort of had like no downside to it at that point, which was absolutely amazing, because you could handle it fast. But of course that was IW, right? So in this game, yeah, I think LMGs are great, and like I said, these are the traditional picks: Maddox, Swordfish, Vapor, SOG 9mm, Gung Ho. In the later prestiges, maybe Dead Silence or Tac Mask, and then Strike Team, Gunship, Thresher, any of those top streaks if that's what you want to rock with. If you are someone that prefers a specific lower streak, go for that as well. But these are what I recommend and what I think that is just the best to use prestige tokens on. Don't feel bad about using them on guns in this game, because the facts are they kind of did strong arm the the best guns towards the later levels. So you're basically forced to, if you want to get any fun time in with the guns before hitting 10th prestige, which is a long time to go for most players that play, you know, an average amount of time. So thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like in this video if you guys could, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.